be. And then we'll move through to the second segment of qualifying. But Jamie, perfect conditions out there, and the scene is set for what will be, I think, a fascinating weekend with possibilities of championships to be won in both classes.
Hello Tom, yeah, it's another lovely day here, very similar conditions to Autopolis from a couple of weeks ago.
From him, the star, as we see Koki Saga, this now is it good enough? Currently at the bottom of the pile, the number 31 machine, well, they just struggled, didn't get enough heat in those tyres, had that problem and ran out of time really. They needed another lap or two, didn't they? So the big talking point here, Koki Saga right down at the bottom in 14th place. They miss out. So does the number 52, the Saitama Toya Pet machine. So that's a bit of a surprise. Are they still on that lap though?
That's the car I would pick out as the no, they're not. Yoshida is going to end the session in 10th place as the 244 just buys in another one there. You Tatsumi at the wheel. Yeah, but the Green Brave car, that is a disappointment because they're just about hanging on in the title battle. 6th place after 3rd place at Autopolis, but 20 points behind the Subaru, so they can't afford basically to lose any more ground to the Subaru if they want to stay in the championship fight. But
for the Yogibo machine, Subaru up there. Now this is meaningful stuff. The championship could go their way if they can get it all together. The 244 with a really good lap at the end. Satsumi, Motegi there as well in the J-Lock. Senna Sakaguchi, I was talking about him back in GT300 because Sasha Fenesteles is back in GT500. A really good lap at the end in his K-Tunes machine, and that does put Senna Sakaguchi into the second segment of qualifying.
Any chance of heading to Fuji with title ambitions?
The mother chassis in this group, the Lotus Luta car that won here earlier in the year, so that's a car to look out for. Their low centre of gravity and nimble handling, quite useful around this twin ring Motegi. The Arta car, the Leon Pyramid machine, even the BMW that's shown glimpses of speed at times, but nowhere near capitalising on that to get a result, is worth keeping. Realise machines, well, the two Nissans, sorry, the Realise and the Gainer machine. So let's not forget that the sister Gainer car was on pole here last time around, earlier on in the year, so the Nissan obviously goes well around this circuit. Checker flag is out here. Drivers are still on a lap, but at the moment it is Giuliano Alesi quickest ahead of Shinichi Takagi, ahead of Shinsuke Kono, then it's Kyoto Fujinami and Kishi Ishikawa. Well, the mother chassis just snuck up to 7th. Will that be enough? Will they scrape through? Still got the Leon Pyramid car out there, the Pacific car guy. Ferrari can't improve. Studi car, the BMW has dropped out, so that's not going to improve. So they're through. Good stuff from those at Lotus. Hiroki Kato in that machine. Well, there's Giuliano Alesi. So that car is distinctly bare whenever I see it. For a Japanese entered machine, you see so many trick liveries in this championship, and that car
probably a big boost for that team. But of course they're without their regular driver, the Thai driver Hortonkum, so Alesi is actually a replacement driver for him. And the reason that car is so bare is because the Thai sponsor, which I believe is called Ping An, is no longer involved. That's partly a legacy of the travel restrictions and all the difficulties, and obviously the team is pretty excited about Lacey setting the fastest lap there. Unfortunately, I was speaking to Sean Walkinshaw just earlier actually. They said they had soft tyres for Q1, which obviously Lacey used to very good effect, and getting the plaudits from the team there, rightfully so. But the harder tyre, which Walkinshaw will have to use in Q2, is going to be much more difficult. In fact, Walkinshaw suggested that they might even simply not go out because it wouldn't be worth even trying to save those tyres for the race. So let's see what they decide to do. Maybe they'll change their mind after that lap from Lacey. But yeah, that's a great lap from Giuliano, but unfortunately I think that's not going to translate into a real shot at pole position, but who knows, I'll be happy to be proved wrong.
Right, there is your top 8 who will join the fastest 8 in Q2 from Group A. So we'll have 16 cars in Q2, but before then we will have, of course, now for the Standy NSX machine, Naoki Yamamoto with all that weight, and it's not all weight, they're the only car, I think I'm right in saying, that are running the restrictor for this race. They can win this championship if they qualify on pole position and win the race tomorrow. So we will know if they can win the championship this weekend after today, effectively.
It's not quite technically right. Basically,
really, Naoki Yamamoto is not going to get this done. It's no surprise, but they have popped up to 7th, but I think the others are going to improve. So that was actually a better lap than I thought it was going to be for Yamamoto, and it has. That's more encouraging than it has been for that Standy car, but I think it's going to be frustratingly close for them as the others now come across the line. Checkered flag is out. The Estimo car moves up to 2nd, but here come the Supras, and I think they're going to wrestle that final spot away from Naoki Yamamoto. Yes, there we go. The Ineos car up to 8th place. That's going to be really frustratingly close for Naoki Yamamoto, isn't it?
Just noticed that the 24 Hondo Racing Nissan, the Supra, the Denso car, the Sard car, just sneaking in there into Q2, just on the bubble there in 8th, putting the Rookie Racing Supra out. But I just realised that the 24 and the 17, the top 2 cars, set identical lap times of 1:36.602, so couldn't be any closer if they tried. Nissan supposedly having a little think about which drivers are going to be part of their lineup next year, and I think the 24 drivers are the most under pressure from what I understand, so a good showing here will really help their case to keep their seat for next season.
It's contract season, they call it, so time for the drivers to pull their fingers out and get it done. Well, top 8 from 2 groups in Q1 progress through to this Gianpaolo D'Oliveira, and the 6th car, that's going to be one to watch, no doubt. Both Gainer cars through, I think. Of course,
yes, you're right there.
For the number 30, the Toyota Prius, the Nuta Racing Lotus car that won earlier on in the year. That's going to be hard pushed to challenge, because the dynamic here is Sato's in 3rd, the checkered flag's out, the J-Lock car is 4th, and then the Cintium car up to 5th place, the number 60 machine, Yoshimoto aboard that, and well, look at that from Shinohara. Number 21 car up to 5th place. We don't often see too much of that machine.
But that could be really important for the championship. I think Tepe Natori there has done the rest of the field a big favour by denying Subaru that all-important point for pole position. Di Oliveira jumping up to 7th there, so that's a little bit better from the Brazilian driver. That does at least put them in a position to do something in terms of challenging the Subaru, but still it's going to be difficult to outscore the Subaru if the Subaru does not have any problems in the race.
Yeah, Oliveira in the realised machine up to 7th place, 2nd in the championship. They're pleased with that, and well, they might. It was only by the slender margins, 1/100th of a second, so it was that close.
And the LM Corsa squad getting 6th there, so that's the best of the Supras. The Green Brave car, of course, didn't even make it this far. Just looking at Sean Walkinshaw, he did actually go for some time lapse, but unfortunately he was the slowest in 15th place there on the harder compound tyre. None other than Giuliano Alesi to that honour at this very track. Actually, there was a little bit of contact between Nattori and Alesi a few weeks ago, and that settled the title effectively in favour of Nattori. I know Alesi wasn't best pleased about how the championship was settled, but yeah, Nattori did get the job done, and he's added another feather to his cap there with a new lap record as well, GT300 class.
So 3 different tyre manufacturers in the top 3: Yokohama, Dunlop, Bridgestone. Honda beat Subaru, beat Honda here. Your top 3 in GT300.
Interviews for the winners and pole position takers have gone, so perhaps there'll be a more regular presence in that sense from now on.
Well, yeah, I said it wasn't a car we saw too much of, and the time to burst onto the top step here. And, checker flag is out. Sasaki's slowed. I think everyone else is slowed by the looks of it, or the majority have. No, Tomo Miyata's still on a fly, and he's on a quicker lap time. So Sasaki's definitely slowed, and so has Quintarelli. So at the moment,
I don't think Miyata needs to do this lap time. Maybe the team will tell him, and he'll come into the pits because he's just putting more laps on those tyres.
There's
he's going to complete it.
Dust coming from that car. Right, so Miyata crosses the line and...
single thousandth slower.
Yeah, it didn't improve. Just lost a bit of time in that final sector then.
Yeah, it was a little bit scruffy looking, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was offline 5 minutes ago.
You can see Miyata celebrating inside the cockpit there. I have to say that we know the Yokohama tyre is strong at this track in July. The temperature was much hotter. It was about 33, 34 degrees. At the moment it's only 17 degrees, and I think that's a real we've got it's an all Yokohama front row, so that tyre is obviously working well even in these cooler conditions. So that's a real testament, I think, to the progress that they've made. It's going to be fascinating to see how they get on tomorrow, but of course, as we said earlier, overtaking is so tricky here, and the 24 will be able to act as a kind of a rear buffer, a rear guard action for the 19 car. So a really interesting racing prospect.
Only one Honda in the top 4. It is Toyota who take pole position here at Twin Ring Motegi ahead. Miyata on the Michelin tyre, of course. 3 different tyre manufacturers in that top 8. But Ritomo Miyata and Yushin Kunamoto there, the 2 drivers that have got it done here in Twin Ring Motegi, and it's going to be all about whether or not those Yokohama tyres can hold on, because it's a Yokohama 1-2. That we don't say too often. A Yokohama 1-2, so they've obviously got a good qualifying tyre here, ahead of the Bridgestone, ahead of the Dunlop.